Hello, everyone. All right, I am live. We got Facebook, we got Instagram. Hey, everybody. Just make sure I got all the things together. Okay, guys. So today's topic, well, um, I wanted to bring up today's topic because I feel like it actually presents itself quite often in the coaching space. And I feel like there is kind of, I don't want to call it a war, but there's definitely some tension, some dissatisfaction between coaches and therapists. And so I kind of want to just have a discussion around it and maybe talk about how in the coaching and consulting industry we can be thought leaders and partners with our therapists, because I feel like there's definitely a opportunity there for like a synergistic partnership, if you will, when we all are working with clients. But first we have to talk about where we are as coaches and where therapists are. So, and I definitely would love for if anybody is a therapist and would like to join the conversation, please feel free to do so. Definitely, I welcome your comments. Just because I feel like, hey, Betty, I welcome your comments because I feel like this is an important topic, one that we don't discuss enough. So definitely want feedback on this. So we're going to be talking about the distinction between coaches and therapists and why there's confusion. So please feel free to drop your questions, your comments in the chat. We can discuss them live, or if you're watching the replay, I will definitely respond to your comments. I say this a lot in that, hey, how are you? It's extremely important that you establish with your clients that as a coach, you are not a licensed therapist, right? Unless, of course, you are a licensed therapist. But even so, even if you are, I would still encourage you to keep that separate from your coaching practice. So, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about why. But therapists or psychotherapists are licensed mental health professionals who specialize in helping their clients develop better cognitive and emotional skills, reduce symptoms of mental illness, and cope with various life changes to improve their lives. Now, some of that might sound similar to what like a coach might do, like a mindset coach might do. So like my favorite example, the life coach, is someone that looks to empower others by helping them make, meet, or exceed goals in their personal and professional lives, which could have, like, you could be helping some people with some things that they're experiencing emotionally and some of their life challenges. But you have to ask yourself, are you helping your clients develop better cognitive and emotional skills and reduce symptoms of mental illness? Right? No matter what type of coach you are, I really feel like it's easy to get drawn into this space. Especially as we are a listening ear for our clients. Definitely, like that, we definitely play that role. It's even natural, I would argue, right? Because that's how you build rapport with people. Like, I mean, in a sense, it's having that conversation. But and again, because you've built up the know, like, and trust factor with them, they trust you, and you have to have some details about what's going on with them in order really to be able to coach them properly. So that's why I say it's kind of a natural thing. But I do think that there's definitely crossover of when someone needs to work with a therapist because their personal problems are affecting them in such a way that will impede their progress and exceed your abilities as a coach, right? There could be those times where what that person is going through or what they're experiencing will exceed your abilities as a coach. And it's not something that you are equipped to actually help them through, right? And I'm big on never being something that you're not, right? And it's a joke a lot of times that each coaching session starts out with a free therapy session, but you always need to do what's best for your client and keep strong boundaries in place so they know the difference, right? This is why I'm adamant about not using a therapist model in your business as a coach or consultant when it comes to how you work with your clients, right? Don't even set your business up that way. I think that our brain has a funny way of seeing something that isn't there, right? So kind of like, when you stare at those like pattern pictures, like the weird pattern long enough to see like shapes and colors inside the pattern, right? You starting off every single coaching session as a therapy session sets you up to look like a therapist, and things will completely be unrelated and go down a different path than what you're trying to accomplish with your clients. So hopefully that makes sense. So look at it this way. For each therapy session, right? When you're a therapist, it's essentially a problem solving session, right? And sounds familiar to coaching. You describe your current situation and your feelings about something, and then the therapist uses their expertise to assist you in trying to resolve that problem so that you move closer to having the life you wish. Hello. And in terms of the number of sessions, I've looked up a couple of different stats on this. It looks like, and definitely licensed therapists jump in here, but that most therapists recommend 6 sessions to begin with, but on occasion people need more or less. So in therapy, the patients take the active role in determining how many sessions that they need. So please listen. The patient takes the active role in determining how many sessions they need, depending on their goals and their level of distress. While the therapist makes recommendations, the patient is ultimately in control, unless, of course, it's a severe mental illness, of course. But therapy can typically last anywhere from 1 session to several months or even years. And it all depends on what the patient wants and needs, right? So some people will come to therapy with a very specific problem they need to solve. And then some, they might find that in 1 or 2 sessions, that's sufficient. That's all that they needed. But based upon this, here's where fundamentally this does not align with the coaching space, okay? So the patient, or in our case, the client, determines how long they need therapy for. Like, so as the coach that's providing the transformation, how long typically the transformation is going to take, right? Or you should know. So while some people may take less time or take more time, right? If you work with me, you have a time container around your offerings, right? Also, if you know something takes at least 30 days to get results, are you going to let your client tell you they need 2 coaching sessions or like half the coaching sessions, right? So that doesn't kind of align with like the transformation you're trying to provide if you let them set the amount of time, like the amount of sessions, so to speak. Think about it. There's a reason that they came to you, right? So you telling them, okay, yep, you could do 2 sessions, even though I know it's going to take you 4 to 6. That's doing them a disservice. Anyway, not only are they not going to be successful, but now you're taking clients and providing zero transformation, right? And clients can come to you as a coach because they're looking to accomplish something, right? Specifically, therapy covers a wide range of topics, really anything that's in a person's life, right? But you are not, right? Or you should not be the anything and everybody coach, right? We talked about that's the importance of niching down, right? And coaching to your zone of genius. Coaches are giving clients the exact steps to solve a specific problem, right? Or at least they should be. Like that's my methodology, my thought process around it, the way that I work with my clients. Therapists are helping their clients deal with their problem on a mental and emotional level. Now, while you may have tools in your arsenal to do both, you could, if you're not a licensed therapist, you need to stay in your lane. You really do. And, I think there's this like tension between therapists and coaches because therapists believe that coaches are unqualified. Excuse me. Coaches are unqualified and they only give advice, right? So a therapist, they deal mainly with mental issues, but a life coach's job or a coach's job is as much about providing someone else with the tools they need to grow personally rather than addressing their problems on an emotional level. So if you know your client may need mental health, I believe it's your job to recommend them to a therapist, right? I think you're doing a disservice if you do not, right? Or at least don't mention it, right? So now you may be thinking, what about mindset coaches, right? Of course, I do believe that mindset coaches walk a very thin line when it comes to the coach therapy thing. It's my opinion that if you're going to do mindset work, you should definitely have some extra tools in your arsenal to be able to deal with some of your clients' challenges. And a lot of mindset coaches are therapists, right? It's a natural transition. Hey, a natural transition for them. But because there is a thin line, hello, there's a thin line between teaching someone to have a more positive and empowered mindset and helping them to combat possible mental health challenges, right? So there's just a really a thin line around that. Um, so this it's just my opinion, guys. That's my opinion, but I think that all coaches should make a point to be able to recognize if someone needs to speak with a therapist in addition to their coaching services. Remember, people can work with more than one coach and they can work with a therapist too. Like, I think also too, there's just kind of like, this is my client. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna like, seriously, we need to get out of that mindset, right? I have more than one coach. I'm a coach. I have a therapist. Like, I don't mind saying that out loud for people. Like, I can work with more than one professional to get what I need and like learn what I need to learn, right? Don't think that because you have to refer your client to a therapist, it's like you're losing a client. No, you're actually doing what's in best interest of your client, right? It doesn't have to be one or the other. And in fact, I would argue you could definitely have a strategic partnership in case you haven't picked it up, right? I'm a huge proponent of therapy and protecting your mental health, right? So I'm never going to tell a client, oh, you need to fix your mindset when I actually kind of feel that they may need to see a therapist. I'm not going to be the one to say that because I'm afraid of losing a client, and you should not be either. Guess what? If you don't set your business up like a therapy business, you won't be competing with the therapist, right? Like, come on now. Um, so, here are 5 ways in which coaches can set some hard boundaries in their coaching business so they don't get confused for therapists and ultimately how to make the experience better for their clients. So, the first thing, hopefully, I know what I'm going to say by now, create a signature program. Do not use the sessions model with no beginning and no end goals in mind, even if it's one to one, right? Your program should have specific outcomes. What are your clients specifically accomplishing when they work with you? Point blank, period, right? Number 2, be sure your coaching program has a time container, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever. I recommend a renewable model, right? Meaning like your clients can go through your program, but they can renew with you. And this is something that we actually work on in the Brand Builder Blueprint so that you know how to set this up properly. Number 3, focus your coaching calls and client touch points on the topic at hand that you're coaching on. Things naturally stray away, but like try to keep things on topic as much as you can. Number 4, if you think someone may need mental help, make the recommendation that they speak with a licensed professional. You can't force them, right? Can't force them, but you can always encourage your clients to look out for themselves, right? Always keep their well-being and best interest at heart, always, right? Number 5, what I was talking about earlier, you can partner with a therapist so that you have a referral relationship. Your clients already trust you. So coming from you, it may be easier. And because you know someone, you pretty much have given them the open door because maybe they were thinking about it, but they were nervous. They didn't know like where to go to look. They don't trust people. You know what I mean? So like you already have that relationship with them. It may be easier to at least help them start to explore to get the help that they need, right? And sometimes, although you have to let people choose like who's best for them to work with. So just because you have a referral partnership doesn't mean they're going to choose your particular referral therapist. But sometimes it helps to have that established relationship, especially if you do nothing close to the mindset space and you're not a licensed therapist, right? You may also need to have different types of therapists based upon the niche you're coaching in. So here's where, again, I tell my coaches and consultants, really get to know your clients and look for different patterns that may be presenting themselves, right? So knowing your clientele, their needs, you can continuously create solutions to them. No, it's not something that you're necessarily going to be getting compensated for, but you make it a value to be a part of your community because you have these different solutions for your clients or different referral partnerships for your clients, right? Like nothing's wrong with even if you don't do that particular service, again, you're not losing a client, you're providing a better experience. So I just want to point that out. Just want to see if anybody had any questions. um Questions or comments about this topic, or if they've like found themselves in a situation where maybe they were being a little bit more therapist than coach at times and they don't know how to navigate that space. But I'll just go ahead and do I'll do a quick recap. And I said, before, I know mindset coaches are really in like a thin, like they're walking the line pretty much when it comes to working with clients, because a lot of that could actually spill over to the mental health space. um but I do think that mindset coaches should have some additional tools in their arsenal, like NLP and things like that. So neuro linguistics programming, definitely conflict resolution, things that are going to really help your clients be able to get to that transformation. But just know that I think all coaches should be able to notice or recognize when their client may actually need professional help. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And don't think of it as you're losing a client, again, because people can work with multiple professionals. We do it all the time. We have a doctor, we have a dentist. Like the doctor's not worried about the dentist because you do different things, right? So, but there's still a service that needs to be provided. So don't think of it as if you have to refer your client to a mental health professional, you're losing a client. It's like, no, right? So I think that's the reason why there's that tension, because therapists feel like coaches are like trying to do their job. Coaches feel like therapists are trying to do their job. No, like we could have, if we just stayed in our lanes, we would all have an harmonious relationship. So here are 5 ways, again, that I feel like coaches can set some hard boundaries in their coaching business so that they don't get confused for therapists. The first, create a signature program, right? Do not use the sessions model that therapists use with no beginning and no end goals and no outcomes, right? Even if it's one-to-one. I get you trying to provide an individualized experience. However, you should still have those boundaries in place. Specifically, what are they going to accomplish when they're working with you, right? Number 2, be sure your coaching program has a time container, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it has a time container, and you have some kind of a renewable model. So it doesn't mean that they're gone after that time. It just means that there's a specific time frame in which they're going to be working with you, right? And so this is something that we work on in the Brand Builder Blueprint because I feel very strongly about this. Number 3, focus your coaching calls and client touch points on the topic at hand that you're coaching on, right? Things naturally stray, especially as you get to know your clients. You have those like more personal conversations, but try to rein things in. Number 4, if you think someone may actually need professional help, make the recommendation to speak to a licensed professional. There's nothing wrong with that. Always have your client's best interests at heart. Number 5, you can partner with a therapist and create a referral relationship. You guys can refer back and forth, right? Because they may know somebody that needs your services, you know somebody that needs theirs. And there's different types of therapists too. Like depending on how your clients best receive information, maybe you want to partner with a art therapist because you work with more creative, so that is more, they don't find they're less apt to explore traditional therapy, but they might explore another either a holistic approach or a creative approach. So keep those things in mind. Think about your business holistically rather than I just got to get clients, right? Think about client experience and like, elevate yourself as the coach, right? This is what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be helping your clients to achieve that result. And if you notice that a great deal of your clients come to you and they need professional mental help, then maybe it's time to think about like how your business model can support that, right? If that's who's coming to you anyway. So just think about that. Are there any questions, guys? Any questions? Okay, so coaches and therapists do not have to have a love-hate relationship, right? It can be a harmonious one, but you got to learn to stay in your lane, okay? I believe putting strong boundaries in place and having that structure in your coaching business is the way to start, okay? Um, so if you guys have any questions now or later, please feel free to drop them in the comments and I will definitely respond. You can also shoot me a DM as well. If you are interested in learning more about how you can intentionally build your coaching business, develop a signature program, and have an overall strategy for your coaching business where you're attracting your ideal clients and you'll want to apply for the Brand Builder Blueprint, the link to do that is in my bio on Instagram, or if you are watching me on Facebook or YouTube, then the link is in the description of this live. So feel free to connect with me on Facebook. I'm at iSimplyShe, or Instagram at I_simply_she. And if you found value in today's live, please share with a friend or a business bestie that maybe they're struggling with this exact thing in their business and they're trying to figure out how to navigate. Again, please also feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. But that's it for today, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your Thursday. And remember, you too can conquer if you slay hard every day.